That is one of the most distinctive voices in rock and roll history. Welcome back, Melnick in the afternoon on TSN 690, along with Sean Campbell in for Rod Francis, Mitch Gallo, Mitch Melnick with you until 7 o'clock. He's a legendary frontman. He is a true artist in every sense of the word, and he's coming back to Montreal at Théâtre Saint-Denis a week from tonight, along with the violinist virtuoso, another big Montreal favorite down through the years, Jean-Luc Ponty. It is the Anderson Ponty Band. Better Late Than Never is the album, and this classic is part of the album. It's a pleasure to welcome. I'm not sure where he is. I think he might be in the state of Massachusetts. John Anderson, how you doing?
Beautiful evening, and all is good. How are you doing there?
Fine, thank you. Where are you?
We're just passing Peabody in Massachusetts, on our way to Beverly, Massachusetts, and we've just been in Boston, Massachusetts.
Aren't you American?
No, I'm English. Come on.
I thought, didn't you become an American citizen?
Oh, yes, I'm an American citizen. Sorry, yes.
Yeah, no, yeah, we know who John Anderson is, John. It's just, I remember reading somewhere that you had become an American citizen and you spent so much time in America, right?
Yes, I'm married to a beautiful American lady called Jane, and I'm very excited. She travels with me all the time, and we're in this car. I'm being driven by Paul Silvera, and to the right is Jean-Luc Ponty. He's the second man watching over the traffic.
The name of the album, Better Late Than Never. You have always collaborated with people. You got together with musicians before Yes was formed, while Yes was a group, an active group, since after Yes broke up. And yet, one of the guys, it seemed like a natural fit for you and Jean-Luc to team up at some point. What did take so long?
Well, you know, life happens, and we met first in '77 in Texas. We toured with Mahavishnu Orchestra, and Jean-Luc was playing the violin in the band at that time. And we struck up a friendship, and then we met 10 years later. We kept saying, let's get together, make some music, as musicians do. And eventually we got together a couple of years ago and started putting together this band, which is quite an amazing bunch of musicians. It's incredible. And the show is fantastic. We're having a great tour, and we'll be there in Montreal very soon.
Yeah, and Montreal is, as you know, right? I mean, can you tell when you usually have a captive audience wherever you are, but in a city like Montreal, which has been so friendly to prog rockers through the years, there must be a different vibe to it.
It was always very powerful to be there, especially with Yes. When I performed there in Montreal, every time it was like standing ovations. People listen to music, you know, and really take it in, especially in Quebec. And we're just so excited to be able to come there.
John Anderson and Jean-Luc Ponty together on stage at Théâtre Saint-Denis a week from tonight. John, we have a regular insider with us. He's an auto racing expert. He does an award-winning radio show called Raceline Radio, Eric Thomas. We also talk a lot of music every Friday afternoon. I don't know if I've ever met a bigger fan of your music than Eric Thomas, who also happens to be a bass player. So I thought I'd bring Eric in, if you don't mind, to talk to you for a few minutes.
No problem.
Eric, meet John Anderson.
Mr. Anderson, what a distinct pleasure to speak with you, sir. I think I've seen you perform with Yes in various configurations, probably like 20, 25 times over the years, and I just want to thank you so much for such wonderful entertainment. Some of these Yes tunes that you're doing with Jean-Luc, and even doing your solo stuff that you did recently, could you possibly have believed that when you co-wrote some of these tunes that they would still mean something close to 40, 45 years later? Tunes like Roundabout and Heart of the Sunrise and Seen All Good People. Did you have any idea that those songs could still be relevant today?
No. You always think those days, back in the early 70s, you got 2 or 3 years of being pretty famous, or whatever you want to call it. And then as time moves along, you just realize that music becomes your life. As you know, you're a bass player. You want to play music all the time. And I was fortunate enough to have a really good time working with Yes, and then eventually Vangelis, and I just kept moving along and learning, and that's what I'm still doing.
Chris Squire, you talk about bass players. I mean, we cannot have a conversation without talking about Chris and his contribution not only to the band and to Yes and to your life. Missed tremendously, but it was good that you guys were at least connecting again just before he left, and I know that's something that's very special for you.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get that connection with him, and we just swapped stories, and I told him, you know, without him I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and he said the same. And we dedicate a song to him in the show, and I'm must say it's a very emotional thing to do. Just talk about him, and then we do a version of And You and I.
Yep.
And Jean-Luc does this amazing violin section at the end, and it's just very, very emotional on many levels.
John, excited about the new project with Rick Wakeman and Trevor Rabin. How far are we away from announcing a drummer and a bassist and maybe other musicians for that project?
Well, we definitely got a drummer and bass player. I'm trying to remember the names, and I can't. But I met them a couple of weeks ago. I was down at Trevor's home in LA, and we've been working on some music with Trevor, and I think we're going to really challenge ourselves. We don't want to just go on there and put a show together and just do Yes music from the old days and stuff. No, we want to advance our understanding of Yes music into the 21st century, as we feel. And Trevor, as you know, is an incredible composer now, and he's worked on so many movies. And we just want to put on such a great show. And obviously, Rick's going to come along and tell a few jokes.
Yeah, I would be complete with that. Mitch, thank you so much for this opportunity. Mr. Anderson, thank you for so much wonderful, wonderful entertainment over the years. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you. John, please, next time. Okay.
All right, just before I let you guys go, Eric, as you know, we got a lot of music fans who listen to the show, and a lot of rock and roll, gut bucket rock and roll blues fans who don't connect to the music necessarily the way that prog rock fans do. What would you tell them about this particular genre of music?
Me?
Okay, I guess Eric left us.
Eric? I'm here.
Okay, no, Eric. Yeah, as a fan, no.
You're talking to me.
Yeah.
Come on, Eric. You can do it.
Well, I think it transcends all of it. I mean, whether it's I like the good musicianship of it. The simple fact remains too, and it's kind of a bugaboo with me, is the fact that these guys can still get on stage in their 70s and still pull this stuff off and perform it live without tracks, without pitch correct, and can actually perform this stuff, which completely blows my mind, even from the first time I heard any kind of Yes music. I mean, the blues guys as well. You get up there with a guitar and an amp and a keyboard, and it's there. Those guys are performing live without the aid of any kind of crutch or correct. And to me, that's still amazing, as it was back in the 70s and in the 60s when you formed the band, John. That musicianship never goes away.
I think the main thing is we enjoy performing, we enjoy playing our music, and with Jean-Luc and this group of great musicians, we have a great time every night, and it's just going to transcend. Obviously, we relate to the audience gives back the energy to us, and we just want to put on a great show.
I think it's a gift. I talk about this a lot, John, about how inspiring it is, to pick up on what Eric was saying, how inspiring it is to see musicians like yourself, those of you who, you're in your late 60s, your early 70s, even some beyond that. Dylan is 70. Right. Bob Dylan's 75 next week, and it's inspiring. And there's always a new generation of fans who have listened to the music but have never gotten the opportunity to see you legends. Yep. And I know you're aware of that. You're aware of that, right? That somebody is seeing you for the first time.
It's true. I'm so blessed to sing and enjoy what I do. I'm so excited to be coming to Montreal and put on a great performance, and that's what we live for.
And you're in great health, because I know for a while you couldn't sing, right?
I had a couple of years. It was 1 year especially was a difficult year, like most people.
Yeah.
And everybody gets sick, And I'm so blessed. I'm happy. I'm in love with life. I'm in love with my wife, and all is good.
God bless you. Thanks for jumping on with us, and we'll see you at Théâtre Saint-Denis a week from tonight.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you, Eric.
Hey, Mitch, I love it when you include me in on this stuff. It's wonderful, and what a great opportunity to talk to John.
Well, I'd be an idiot if I didn't include you. We'll talk about the Indy 500 tomorrow afternoon.
Look forward to it, Mitch. Thanks, bud.
These guys have heard this one. That's going way back, about 30 years or so. Again, it's the John Anderson, Jean-Luc Ponty, Anderson Ponty Band, Better Late Than Never Tour next Thursday, the 26th, Saint-Denis Theatre. Tickets available at the box office and at ticketpro.ca. When we come back, tickets to one of the semifinal games of the World Junior Hockey Championship next on Melnick in the Afternoon on TSN 690.